Okay, let's go over how to match the kind of standard set of functions to their graphs. So here I have 9 standard types of functions. So we have the odd power functions, that's this one. We have the even reciprocal functions here, the odd reciprocal functions here. These are the even roots, the odd roots, quadratic functions. So of any type, they could be up, down, left, right, shifted around wherever. We have the absolute value function. We have lines, so any line except for vertical line, and then the even power functions. Okay, so which of these is which? And how do you figure it out? So one thing you can do is you can always plug in points. So you'll notice that the first 3 here all go through the origin, and they all go through the point 1, 1. But you can plug in other points than that. So like, for example, the value 2 here, if I plug in 2, I should get like some really big number, and it's going to be positive. As well as like on the left side of this first graph, I can see that the values are going to be negative. So I can think about which of these formulas is going to give me negative values, right? So there's always that kind of logic that you can apply to it, even if you kind of forget which one is which. So let's see, which of these formulas can I plug in negative numbers to? Because I can't plug in negative numbers to this one. And plugging in something positive gives me something positive. Plugging in something negative gives me something negative, and like pretty big numbers. That's going to be this one. Okay. So none of these other formulas actually has that property. For example, here I can't plug in negatives. Here, when I plug in negatives, I get out positives. Here, I get out positives no matter what. Here, I can plug in negatives and get out negatives, but because these are roots, they're going to have not as large of y values. So that's actually this one. Right, so this is the kind of logic you want to use if you forget which ones match up to which ones. Another important part is the domain. So for example, right here, I see that there's no y value for when I plug in x equals 0. So if I plug in 0 to this chart, whatever this formula was, I don't get out a y value for it. So that's going to be one of the reciprocal ones. And the same deal for, this is the other reciprocal one, because there's no y value at x equals 0. So this is the kind of logic you want to use. So some other things to think about are, negative and positive values. So like these y values are negative, these y values are positive. But for example, on these ones, when I put in negative x values, I get out positive y values. Okay, so these two that I just labeled look really similar to each other. The only difference is that I know the second one here, this one is even powers, because when I put in negative x values, I get out positive y values. Okay. All right. So those are the kind of thoughts you want to apply to these ones. And I'm going to leave it at that.